In this Bannerlord challenge run, we're going to be conquering the entire world, playing as a Nordic faction. Let's jump right in. We will do a sandbox, not a campaign, because I really don't like doing that long quest. So I've done a world conquest with pretty much everybody. I don't think I've done the Khazaids, but I've done it with everybody else. Let's do Nord. And I have been playing these guys quite a bit. So we're going to mix it up. We're not going to do just Nord units. We'll do a hybrid Nord with another faction. I don't want to give away too many details, so we'll deal with that in a second. Let me try to get something that looks half decent. That's not the generic default. We're going to go with this handsome redhead. That's what we're looking like. Now for the picks, we are, so I know usually when I do world conquests, I'll typically focus on skills down here, the intelligence and social. However, I feel like that's kind of boring. It's also optimal, which would be better for a world conquest, but I think in this one, we're going to stick to mostly the top level, especially melee. I want to really focus hard on melee skills. So we're just going to sneak through here and pick all the ones that do one-handed and two-handed. I probably will ignore polearm, although I might do a little bit just to get some of the perks. There's some really good perks in there. We also want to put some points into smithing, so we'll do that. And then I know down here there's one that gives us a really good set of javelins. And it also buffs up the ones that we want to do. So throwing, I don't mind as well. I'll probably do bow or crossbow at some point, but we'll do throwing in the beginning. Although, I don't know, maybe we'll skip it. We'll see. So that one, and then finally you defeated somebody in battle. That puts us at 6 vigor, 3 control, and then in terms of points, mostly top heavy. We do have 1 point into Stewart, which is kind of a waste, but it's okay. We'll have a lot of focus points to spend, and we just need to make sure that our attribute points are right where they need to be. And then we'll go for a 30-year-old, so we'll have plenty of time. We could probably do 40, and then we'll get a few extra points, but I'd rather do 30. I don't know if the extra land that's on the map now is going to make the world conquest take a lot longer, so I'd rather not get bogged down. Also, the AI seems a lot more competent now, so I think some of these wars might last a bit longer. So let's go 30 years old. And then here's our flag. I don't know necessarily what this means, but I thought it looked kind of nice. And I'm just going to name, I know I do a lot of historical ones, but I really like to do those when I'm taking my time and doing some kind of like unique challenge. For just a general world conquest, we're just going to leave it Strat, so you kind of know who's getting the kills on the kill feed and whatnot. But anyways, here we're going to go Bannerlord presets. Everything we'll leave alone. I don't do Iron Man mode because sometimes the game likes to crash, and everything else will just be on the default. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, starting out, our main goal is to pick off looters and do some tournaments. We don't want to do too much of it, but enough to where we can get up to clan tier 1. We do start off with 20 renown because of our starting choices, so that does help a little bit. We only need 30 to get to mercenary status, but once we hit mercenary status, we will join somebody and start making some good money. So I think in the beginning, let's see if we can get another set of javelins, because that is going to help quite a bit. Yeah, they've got this really crappy set, but if you hit headshots, then you won't really have to worry about it too much. You can still one-tap these guys. So we'll have 5 and 4, so 9 javelins. We should be able to take on about that size of a looter pack. And then we also need to see if there's any tournaments here. We'll come in here, breeze through this guy's chat, and then any tournaments? No. So we'll probably have to go further south, and then by that time we will probably have some tournaments that we can join. So the goal here is to get out of the north. This is not really a good area to farm in the early game. It's very slow to move around up here, and there's just not a whole lot of towns. I guess if you're just hunting bandits, it's fine, but that's not really what our goal is. So we're going to come down here into this valley area, and then we'll head west, and we'll kind of go in this area right here because you can get a nice mix. You've got Sturgians, Empire, Vlandians, and Battanians. So that's probably where we'll set up shop. And then eventually when it's time to join as a vassal, we may come back up here to join these guys. I don't know. I haven't quite decided that yet. So there's still some things that I haven't quite narrowed down how I want to go about the campaign. But I did some testing. I do have a pretty good idea, but I'm not going to spoil anything. So let's just get out on the open road and start working our magic here. So we'll try to look for small groups of looters. 13 or 14 was a bit too much. So if we find anything, maybe 9 or less, we'll probably fight it. But otherwise, we're just going to travel down. Oh, you know, we didn't set our starting points out. So let's go ahead and do this. We need to put as much points into athletics because that's going to be our survival mechanic here. Probably not going to do a whole lot of riding. We will have a mount in the beginning just so that we're not moving so slow, but we'll eventually want to transition to primarily doing athletics farming. And then for perks here, let's go with weapon handling for one-handed. shield chopper for two-handed, and we'll go that way. So start off with athletics. We will probably max out throwing next, and then one-handed, maybe two-handed. I'm not sure. We'll do one-handed and smithing and two-handed. Maybe we'll do these two together. Yeah, we are going to be doing quite a bit of smithing because we need to get a nice set of weapons that we can use if we're going to be doing a lot of melee combat. So there we go. On our way south. We got a group of 7, assuming somebody doesn't jump them first. There we go. So the goal is to ride up to them, separate them by letting the ones with the stones to... There we go. They're going to slow down. And we just need to not get hit. What in the world? We don't want to get hit too much because we do need to have good health for the tournaments. We'll try and hit headshots where we can. 200 damage is insane. Especially considering we have very low skill. Alright. We're going to have to take a rock here because they're just throwing way too fast. Here we go. Alright, let's get closer. Yeah, dude, they're like timing it so that I can't really get my weapon out. But that's okay. Right in the face. So you can see even the cheap, crappy javelins, if you save them for close quarters, it's a one-shot. So we can pretty much guarantee ourselves 9 kills. So maybe we can take on like a 10 or 11, but I'll probably miss a couple of them, so I'd rather have a little bit of leeway there. But here we go. 33 levels of athletics. That's a good starter. And we are not taking looters as prisoner because that's just going to take way too long. We have no food, but we do have beer. There you go. First battle done. Let's go ahead and work our way south still. Yeah, because if we go on this part, this little peninsula, we can't actually cross here until we have a boat. So we're going to have to make some money and get a few people in our party before we can start traveling freely through the water. So I think, yeah, I think this area is still the best area to start in. So we'll just keep heading down there. All right, we stopped off at Tile. We can pick up 251 dinars. We're back up to above 1,000. I would like to find a better set of javelins here if we can. Although that might be tough. So 60 pierce, 62. The fish harpoons would be ideal if they did more damage, but they actually don't. Interesting. Yeah, I thought the fish harpoon... Oh, I know why. It's not the actual ones with the fish harpoon head. I don't know why they call it that. Yeah, the fish harpoons do like 110 base damage, which are pretty crazy. All right, so yeah, nothing there. We'll probably have to try to craft our own fairly soon if we don't find a decent set. But let's see if there's any tournaments now. We've got Akalat and Charas. So those are very, very far from each other. Literally at opposite ends of the map. So probably not going to go for Akalat. I think winning a mounted tournament is going to be rough since we're not going to be doing a whole lot of mounted combat. So I think we'll just travel down here. We'll work our way to Charas, fight some looters if we can. And we'll just take the beginning a little bit slow. I don't mind. And for athletics perk, we want to boost up our foot troops because we're going to have a decent amount of melee. So they can use all the hit points they can get. For throwing, we will eventually get Impale, so let's just go with the draw speed for throwing weapons. We don't need a damage shield since we're going to bypass them anyways. And then let's put more points into one-handed, since we'll be using a one-handed mostly in the early game. Mid and late game, probably switch that over to two-handed. All right, here we go. We're stopping at Saniopa. I didn't know they had a tournament here, but this one must have just popped up. So let's go ahead and try and do this tournament. Now, we don't have a whole lot of skill, and I could see there's a few nobles in here, so we got to be careful. We'll probably have to duel them in the end. However, not that worried about it. Let's just stick with our boy here. He can help protect us. All right, we might have to fight this guy then. Oh boy, I missed my kick. All right, help me out, dude. Yeah, he's going to help us out. And then we'll come in and clean him up. Let's go ahead and take that shield. We're in no matter what, even if we don't win this. Because we're part of the last 2 teams remaining. Now, right now I think we're just going to do holding pattern. Need to force it too much. Normally I would put my sword away and try and do some kicking. But like I said, I'm not too worried about it. I have a feeling we're going to have to duel our ally here. In the end, he's probably going to be with us to the very end. Yeah, there we go. Chesson. So he is on our team again. That's good. These warlord pauldrons are quite good, so we need to make sure we survive this if we can. Here we go. Let's... No. Fight this guy. This is a noble, I think. Yeah, Asos. So we definitely want him to go down, so we don't have to fight him in a later stage. There we go. Please don't go down. Please don't go down. There we go. We're part of the last group. Yeah, so like I said, he's going to be our teammate until the very end, so we'll probably have to face him in the last round. We're facing him early, actually. Wow. I'm not going to bet on this round because there's a pretty decent chance that he'll beat us. Actually, you know what? How much is it? Oh, it's still a pretty good bet. Yeah, we kind of have to. We'll use the shield for now, but I might drop it just to make kicking a little bit more reasonable. But you can see I'm messing up some of these blocks, so it's a good thing we have this shield out. I've been playing a decent amount of half sword. That has really messed up my Bannerlord. It's gonna be hard to get a hit off. We're gonna have to kick for sure. Our shield's almost done anyways. But so is his. Alright, here we go. 2 or 3 more hits. It's gonna bust. There it goes. Alright, let's go ahead and give him a kick. And a slice in the head. 1 more. No, probably 2 more actually. Yep. Oh crap. Yeah, I missed that. It's not good. There we go. Oh, that was really close actually. So that last kick was very close to missing. Kind of surprised it actually landed. So we're fighting an Imperial veteran infantryman. This shouldn't be quite as bad. The nobles are really, really tricky in the early game, especially when you don't have a whole lot of skill, character skill. Oh yeah, see, I would have missed that. So what I'll probably have to do is hold my attacks a little bit longer and try and bait him into swinging. There we go, like that. Oh yeah, he tried to bait us into... He's canceling his blocks. Pretty advanced. There we go, we got 2 through. Yeah, sometimes the AI will block everything and then they'll go through a streak where they just are idiots like that. Right there, they didn't hold up their block at all. Here we go, we got it. That was actually a pretty easy win. Well, I don't take that back. The chasing duel was tough, but outside of that, that wasn't too bad. So we got some pauldrons. It's not going to make a huge difference. We're going to look kind of goofy here with giant... We've got giant armored shoulders and nothing else. So I guess we're like a shoulder model or something. We got to protect them. But anyways, let's go ahead and sell that. And we do have a decent amount of money. So once it's time to start recruiting some foot troops, we can do that. But let's see if there's any other tournaments to go to. Well, there is Chados and Akalat still. So yeah, we're just going to keep going. We're going to go for this group of 11. It might be kind of on the edge of what we should be able to handle, but I think it'll be all right. Right, I don't know how many range they're going to have here. So that'll kind of determine a little bit how we handle this. But oh man, there's so many people here and they are incredibly fast. Why are they faster than me right now? Maybe these maybe these shoulder pads are just way too heavy because of the armor they have. That's wild, man. Yep, this might be a bit of a challenge. All right, they're backing up to most likely reform. They like to keep their formation sometimes. All right, there we go. We're done with our 5. We need to actually hit headshots now. Perfect. And now we got to deal with these guys that are absolute snipers. They're still hitting us, even with the shield up. They're still hitting us. Man. Yeah, I can't stop for more than a couple seconds, or like a split seconds. Let's back up a little bit. All right, I think if we can get it to a 2v1, fight straight up with the shield and everything. There we go. And this guy doesn't have a shield, so we can shield bash him pretty easily. And then if we can get some thrust attacks, I think thrust attacks give you more... give him a shield bash. They give you more athletics. This guy's gonna block everything, so let's just get the deed done. If we can do it to him. There we go, we got athletics 53, we'll take it. So we took a little bit of damage from the rocks, but not too bad. And again, no prisoners, but we will take all the loot. I know we're going to be overburdened a bit. We're not going to sell the weapons that we can smelt, because I do want to try to sell those, or smelt them down and use that for some smithing. So Let's make sure we've got a couple upgrades here, but they're not really worth talking about. And on, yep, we got to keep going to the west. And I'm going to keep doing these small fights. Oh, crap. We have to share it with this guy, so never mind. Yeah, I'm going to start editing some of them out because you kind of can tell how they're going to go, I think. If there's like a tough one, we'll come back for it. That's way too many. Way too many. All right, let's keep working our way west. For athletics 50, we want to take the weapon handling. Usually I think this one's pretty nice to have armor weight reduction so that you can move around a little faster, but I don't really care about movement speed in this one quite as much. I feel like we're going to probably be fighting out of a shield wall or a shield square the majority of the time. So I'm okay being a little bit slower and then having slightly better combat performance. Let's also put a point into endurance, and we have one-handed maxed out, athletics maxed out. Now we need to do throwing. Actually, oh, I was supposed to do throwing first instead of one-handed. Whoops. But that's fine. I mean, it's early enough. It's not going to make much of a difference. So there we go. Let's keep moving. So what we want to do here is get rid of our most expensive stuff. So the beer, unfortunately, is going to have to go. We'll sell our garments, which we don't need because we have armor. And then the weapon, the bent pickaxe, we definitely want to keep. We could get some hardwood actually and smelt it. Or yeah, turn it into charcoal and start doing these as we go. The problem is these things don't weigh very much, and the crafting materials that get spit out, I feel like they weigh more than the weapon itself, which is, I don't know, kind of a violation of the conservation of mass, but it is what it is. I feel like it should go down. Sell that, so we're up to 3K, which isn't too bad. Let's keep moving west, and we'll check for some tournaments here. So now it's Charas and Jakulan. So it looks like there's more tournaments popping up over here. We just need to get to the Vlandian area, and then we'll be fine. Yep, another easy looter battle down. Now we can pick up this large bag of simple javelins. So this one, it's the same stats in terms of combat, but it does have 6 instead of 4 for the stack. So why don't we swap that out? And I'm going to keep these javelins because I do want to smelt them down. This is really cheap. It's only 178 dinars. It's really, really inexpensive. There we go. We can take on a slightly bigger looter parties now. I wonder, with +2, we have what, 11? And we would take on a group of 14. That might be a tall task, but let's try it. Here we go. Let's lead them up the hill so that they're a little bit slower than we are, hopefully. We need to start hitting them early because that's a massive group. Oh boy, this is actually not good. There's only like 3 people throwing rocks, which means we're going to have a lot of people right on our butt. And I did miss one of my javelins, unfortunately. We're down, they're right on us, so we need to run for a little bit. Hopefully they will back off. Maybe they'll back off to reform. Anyways, they are definitely not backing off to do anything. So what I'm going to do is try to lead them around a tree. See if we can get a tiny bit of distance. Get a shot on them. There's a hit, but we just took a rock. All right, we'll do it again around the tree. The tree just limits how many... Oh, they just backed off. Yep, they backed off to reform. Let's make sure we get the kill on him. Get a neck shot on him, and then we'll start fighting these guys. Oh, man, we took a hit. Not a bad hit, but still took a hit. Oh, it's to the shoulders. He couldn't have hit us anywhere better. That was perfect. Yeah, we'll take a hit to our high-level armor here. Let's try and isolate this guy. Perfect. And we'll work on him next. Perfect. How many we got? 3 left. So we don't want to take too much more damage because we need to keep HP up for the next tournament. And try and get them to come out one by one, maybe. Perfect. Let's get these other 2. And even though I know we have a shield, we still want to try and dodge some of their hits. Maybe we can get a stab here for some athletics. I don't know what it is about this game, but they don't let you hit stabs. They will block. I mean, I've done this before in testing. It took me like 15-20 minutes to land one. It was insane. There we go. We got one that time. But yeah, sometimes they do not let you land stabs. So that was good. And we got one-handed up to level 50 as well. So 2.7 renown. That's pretty good. We'll be at tier 1 in no time. Decent amount of gear. We can put a helmet on now at least. Same thing for some of our civilian outfits. I don't know that we'll ever use any of this stuff, but we'll just pretend that we are. Alright, so decent fight puts us at about 70 health, so we do need to be careful. Let's heal up a little bit before we get to the Vlandia. And for our level 50 perk, I know the last couple campaigns I was going to stick to the axes. That was fun, but we're probably going to mix it up and go sword, maybe a mix of the two. Maybe we'll use some axes and maces still, but I think keeping our options open to be able to use any one-handed weapon, especially like a sword, increase the swing speed. That's going to be really good. So we'll put points there. Let's get another point into throwing. You can see here our levels are moving pretty nicely. So let's keep going west. I took another easy fight. This one does happen to have some loot because I just saw that they destroyed a group of peasants. So we got to be careful because we're going to be overburdened. Yeah, our herding penalty is massive. So most likely, yep, they're going to come after us. So we got to dump all of our stuff. So what I might end up doing, no, we can't really carry too much. We can keep one sumpter horse. So we'll keep one. And actually, that's almost enough. We just need to get rid of some of this stuff. So they had some silver ore on them, which is worth a lot. Let's go ahead and dump the cheap food that we have so that we're not overburdened. And then we'll keep moving on. That works out. All right, so no way they'll catch us. Let's keep moving. Yeah, you can see there's some little groups in here I'd like to pick off as well, but it's not worth our time. Let's just keep going. And might as well sell some stuff to this caravan right here. That's going to be another almost 1,000 dinars. So we're almost up to 5K. So we can get a very nice starting army here soon. Although we still have some room to go, I think. Right, what are we at? 31 renown. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, we'll probably win some tournaments here, and that'll help quite a bit. But it's going to be a little bit of time. So hopefully, if we can save up like maybe 10 or 15K before we start hiring some troops, I think that'll be good. And then we can take all those guys up to tier 5 or tier 6, depending on what we want to hire. And for throwing level 50, we probably want to go for mount damage. I don't think we'll ever really use these things in melee. So this one's pretty good. Although I do like the captain perk here. Plus 15 control skill for infantry and 15 vigor skill for archers. The only problem there is it kind of boosts the skills that you don't want these troops to use. So infantry, well, I guess control is okay, right? Because that'll help their throwing. But vigor is not really something you want your archers to be using, melee skills. So yeah, I still think this is probably the better perk. And 40 damage against mounts is pretty important because horses have really, really good armor and a lot of HP. So I'll take that. Let's get in there and win this tournament. We got a one-handed sword here. This could be a good upgrade for us, actually. So let's hopefully win this one. Oh, that was a terrible shot. Let's go with our melee troops anyways. They're going to probably not do too well on their own. So, oh, man, we just got shot. There we go. There we go, boys. Clean it up. Let's get behind the shield. Actually, we can get our own shield. There we go. Perfect, we just swept them. Yep, clean sweep there. We got a 1v1, and of course, we got to go against a noble. I am not going to fight mounted, though. Alright, there we go. I don't want to knock him off his horse, because I'd really prefer not to fight this guy on foot. So I don't mind doing playing a little bit of chicken with him. Here we go, line it up. We got to try and hit him again. Oh, that's okay. We should be able to take him down. Holy crap. Alright, he hits hard. Let's try it again. There we go. Got him. And we have to fight a sharpshooter, so there's no nobles left. So it shouldn't be too bad. Alright, I don't think we're going to be able to fight this one. Let's get our shield away so we can spear brace. Go, 35 damage. And line it up again. Dude, how... I feel like I might have a better chance if I go into first person mode. There we go. Yeah, that's a little bit easier to aim. I've noticed that in half sword as well. The stabbing weapons are really hard to aim third person, but the slashing weapons are much easier to aim. So, oh boy. This should be an easy fight, but it's not because we don't have polearm skill, so... Oh, luckily he's an absolute idiot. Thank you for being bad. So, we got our sword, 1,500 dinars. That puts us up to, what, 5,500 or 6K? Yeah, 5,500. And this weapon, this one-handed, should be much better than what we currently have. Interesting. So it wants to put this weapon back in, but that weapon's definitely not as good. So equip best items, not always the best. So we'll have to move that around manually. What is it? I wonder what it prioritizes. So swing speed is a little bit faster, but not that much faster. And then the cut speed is quite a bit more. Pierce damage. Yeah, looks like it's still, this is a much better weapon. So we'll keep that one. For athletics, 75. Let's take the party size increase, the +5. We are going to be doing some crafting, but it's fine. We can just wait a little bit longer instead of getting extra stamina recovery. I would much rather have the party size. And also the persuasion chance is going to be really big in the late game when we try to recruit more parties to our kingdom. And then throwing is maxed out. We'll probably do smithing next. Yeah, I think we need to get on smithing soon, and then we can finish one-handed later. We've got a tournament at Jokulon and Ox Hall. Let's go to one of those. I think Jokulon's pretty close. Here we go. Coming into Jokulon, the tournament's still here. Let's go ahead and fight this one. So this one is a Militia Pernacht, which is, I believe, a mace. Yeah, one-handed mace. So I'm not really that interested in getting this one, other than to maybe get a weapon we can smelt down. But if we don't make it, it's not the end of the world. Our buddy out here. There we go. Nice, we got that. Let's take out these ranged guys as well. There we go, blue's wiped out. But he's still alive here. Oh, never mind, he just got stabbed. Let's go after these guys. Oh boy. Well, it doesn't matter, we're the last two anyways. So we should be fine, either way. Right, let's get her to... Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get it so that these guys can shoot at her nicely. We'll just stand still. Easy target, there we go. Alright, next round, we are not fighting mounted. Let's make sure we can stop this horse. We got a couple stabs in on him. He's hurt pretty bad. Oh, nice. Yeah, we're in pretty good shape here. It's a 2v4 now. Let's focus on this cav unit if we can. There we go, yep. Clean sweep. 2v2 now. We'll let this guy do his own mounted, and then we'll just... People walk into us, maybe? Nope. Let's get this guy while he's on the floor. Or while he stopped moving. Here we go. And this guy, we can... Nope. Couch lance. Oh, they're making it easy for us. Jeez. Hopefully we don't get that polearm again. Nice. Oh, that's bad. We need him to get a little bit more speed, though. Because if he doesn't have any speed, then our spear brace isn't going to do much damage. Let's go into first person again. Oh, that's not really what I wanted to have happen, actually. Yeah, use our horse. That's fine. There we go. That was a good hit. Alright, one more. Got him. Oh, yeah. We'll take that. Like I said, we'll either sell it or smelt it down. One of the two. How much is this thing worth, anyways? 1,200. Wow. That's not bad at all. Now, the other tournament is up here at Ox Hall. I'm going to head up there. Hopefully, we can run into some peasants or some looters that we can pick on. But otherwise, we're just going to keep doing this till we're ready. Yeah, we'll fight these guys real quick. All right, here we go. We've killed pretty much everybody with javelins. Let's try our new one-handed sword out, see how well it does. Yeah, it hits pretty hard. It's not a one-tap, at least not against these guys with the current skill level, but it does feel good. It's not that much better. Whoa, 97. It's not that much better than our previous one, but it is a little bit of an upgrade. It's another of that same weapon, so I'm just going to fight this real quick. Hopefully we win it to get the renown, but we don't really need the equipment because we literally have one already. Alright, previous round was pretty easy. I have a feeling we're going to lose this one because this guy's an absolute maniac. Unless he does something stupid. Okay, he did something stupid. Never mind. But pretty easy. They didn't really put up much of a fight after that one guy, and he made some mistakes, so... We got another one of these things, so we'll have some decent unlocks, or I guess an extra 1,200 if we want to sell it. So polearm, don't really care too much, but we'll take the ones on foot. Really, the main ones we would want to get here is 225 minus charge damage. I think that one's pretty good. The other one's not really that big of a deal, because not really planning on using polearms too much, but that's all right. And in terms of levels, let's start putting points into smithing and get that maxed out. So we're only missing 8 renown, so we're very, very close. I think we'll probably hit it pretty soon. Let's see if there's any more tournaments. And if not, I'm just going to chase a couple looters. I'll do it offline, and then we'll come back and start hiring a little bit of an army. Proven and Reval, yeah, there's definitely tournaments up here. If we win those 2, that'll be +6. We only need 2 more renown, so let's start working our way over there. Here we go. Got another win here, and this gave us some kind of banner, something about ranged weapons, which we're actually going to use ranged weapons first, I think, in terms of troops. So this will come in handy. We need 5, I think 5 more renown. So that's good. We'll head over to Galand or Revolt. I think Revolt's the next one. So we'll head up there, we'll finish that tournament, and then we'll be on our way. Yeah, this one is decreased range accuracy penalty by 6%, so that'll help. Another win, pretty easy. She just rode right onto my lance. That's what she said. So we got the ambassador. I don't know if this is better than the one we already have, but let's check it out. So it looks like it's quite a bit better, actually. It's got higher cut damage, thrust speed. Actually, that's a lot of extra cut damage. It's a slower swing speed, but not by much. And then the weapon reach is higher as well. So definitely want to use that one. We'll hang on to this one so we can smelt it. And we are down to, I believe, only 2. Yeah, we need only 2 more renown. So we should probably work on that. Why don't we go, we'll head towards the Battanians. I'd like to be a mercenary for them to start off with, and then we'll work, oh, Turby Castle fell. Interesting, so these guys must have come in with a boat. And then Havalvik is already landing, that's kind of standard. It seems like this falls really fast. So if we become these guys a vassal, then we can probably take Havalvik, and then maybe just start a kingdom there and then branch out, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go to Battanian lands and see if we can cause some trouble over there. I want to start with Fian champions. We'll get a little group of archers, and then we'll eventually get melee troops from our homelands. So we'll go Fian champions plus the Huskarl, and that'll make up the bulk of our starting army. So anyways, I'm going to go chase down some looters, and we'll try and get to Clan Tier 1.